The question is, do you have to spend a lot of money to get a good fishing reel? Well, I'm testing out the PISCIFUN Carbon 2500, and I can confidently say the answer is no. Now, PISCIFUN sent me this reel for free, so disclosure, they did give it to me for free, but in exchange, I told them it would be an unbiased review of their reel. I wanted to see if you could get a good quality reel for under $100, and I believe this reel delivers just that. What I did was I spent a little time on the water, but I also went through each of the specs listed on the website to test them out to the best of my ability to see if you could get a competitive reel for under $100. So let's go ahead and run through those specs. So the PISCIFUN 2000 boasts a reel weight of 7.2 ounces, and as you can see here, it weighs exactly that. Next, it claims to have a braid capacity of 150 yards with 15-pound braid. So what I ended up doing was buying a brand new spool of Yozuri Super Braid, 15 pounds, 150 yards, to see if I could spool that entire thing on the reel. And sure enough, I was able to get the entire 150 yards on the reel with plenty of room left for leader. Now what's nice is the spool does have a little band around the middle, so you don't really have a requirement for mono backing, which is really nice. The other thing I didn't test was the ball bearing. To me, ball bearings in a reel doesn't really matter that much. If you can spin the reel and it feels smooth, then that's really all you need to know. It is a very smooth reel. As you can see, I barely reel it and it's pretty smooth, so can't really complain there. I wanted to test out the max drag capacity because this thing boasts 22 pounds of drag, which is honestly pretty impressive considering that it's a reel designed for inshore fishing, and the max line that I'm gonna put on it is probably anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds anyways. So what I did was I put some 60-pound braid on the reel and then ended up attaching a 20-pound dumbbell to a 2.5-pound weight, tied them together and cranked down the drag as much as I could. And sure enough, I was able to lift it up and the drag held on. So I would say it actually has a little bit more than 22 pounds, which again is really impressive for a reel in this class. Most other reels in this class have less than 15 pounds of drag, so really awesome. So for the inches per turn, I tried to be as scientific as I could with the tools at my disposal, but let's go ahead and cut over to the test so you can kind of see what I did and see the results. Okay, so for the inches per turn test, what we did is we measured 30.7 inches indicated by these green lines, top of the green line to the bottom of the green line. And I also put my reel in a rod holder. That way it was in a fixed position so I could just reel without there being any play in my hands when I'm reeling. Then what I'm gonna do is I am going to get my reel set to the bottom as close as I can. And then I'm going to pull drag out until this jig head gets to the bottom of this indicator right here. Make sure it's pretty precise, pretty good. And then I'm just gonna do one full revolution. And see where we land. So this seems like it's a little short, but I'm gonna test it one more time because the drag was a little loose from me pulling it down. So let me try it one more time. Okay, so that's pretty spot on right there. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up the drag. See where we are. So it seems like it's still a little short. Let's measure to see where that ends. It's about 28.5. So as you guys can see, again, not the most scientific, but it was around the 28 to 29 inch mark on each revelation per turn. Something going to make or break your fishing? I really don't think so. It gets the job done when it comes to reeling in the lure. Really, when you get into the intricacies of 1 to 2 inches, really not that big a deal. One of my friends used this exact same reel down in the Keys and was able to reel in a 35-pound permit and he said that the drag was perfectly fine. I was present during the entire fight, and it didn't sound like the drag was sticky or anything like that. So if it can handle a 35-pound permit, I think it's gonna handle most other inshore fish without a problem. If I had to say there was one thing that maybe I'm just not quite used to, it's that the bail tends to flip over really easily, which isn't a bad thing, but normally when I am fishing, I like to flip the bail and then spin it to be able to cast. But as you can see here, if you spin the bail and kind of get it set to where you're ready to cast, if you accidentally spin it too much, it wants to go ahead and trip itself. And once it trips, if you cast, then the bail is going to be closed. It's something that is probably more of a me issue than the reel issue, to be honest, but I just wanted to point that out because, again, when you flip the bail to get ready to cast and then twist it to put it in position, it can easily flip back. So again, not really a big deal, and it's probably something to do with me, but I just wanted to point that out. That's really the only downside I found to this reel. But for a reel that is under $100, especially going on right now, you can get it for 70 bucks. It not only has a really great capacity, the drag on it is pretty high compared to other competitors in the market. It's really light and a really smooth reel. Two very important things for inshore fishing. If this is a reel that you want to pick up, I will leave a link down in the description below, and you can actually use code NICK15 to get 15% off. You can get 15% off anything from PC Fun, so pretty cool. I don't get anything from it. It's just a cool way to help you guys out and get a discount on your tackle. So that's it for today. If you have any questions or comments about the reel, please leave those down in the comments below. And until the next video, I hope you're able to get out on the water and catch some fish.